Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever the hell you are around the world. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, today, we are talking about an interesting little development. Apparently, several terabytes of Onlyfans content has been leaked in a Discord server. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. Someone told me about it a couple of days ago, and I haven't really looked into it at all. So we're literally going to be reading a few articles that I found on the topic, and we're going to break this down as we go along. See what the truth is actually like. So let's get cracking, shall we? Boop. Alrighty. So, from the Sun, porn panic. That's a great start. Oh, look at this. Little ad for the Primal Blueprint. Go away. OnlyFans leak. How many naked selfies and clips of women were exposed online? Thousands of raunchy pictures and videos have leaked online from one of the world's biggest porn sites. Cool. The files have been dumped into a huge database and shared across the internet by Randy Cybercrooks. Kudos to the copywriter for this article, by the way. Talking about OnlyFans. Here's actually a pretty interesting thing. I quickly briefed over these articles before I went live. This is an interesting fact that I didn't know. I actually didn't know the exact number, but apparently there's like 18,000 content creators on OnlyFans. 18,000. That's people like me, like the girls I have in the studio, porn stars, uploading content to OnlyFans. 18,000 of them. That's amazing. Anyway, the dump means many of OnlyFans performers now have their content available on the internet for free. The twist is that OnlyFans claims that it wasn't hacked. Instead, the leak appears to be the result of a coordinated online effort by users to steal and share as much of the site's content as possible. Okay. Well, that's convenient for OnlyFans that they haven't got a security breach, isn't it? I like this. Let's see if I can zoom in on this bit. Hang on. Can you see that bit better? It says OnlyFans claims that it hasn't been hacked. Credit OnlyFans. So basically, the only source on this is OnlyFans himself. That's really useful. OnlyFans. What is OnlyFans? Blah 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 blah. We all know what OnlyFans is. If you listen to this channel, you know what OnlyFans is. Has it been hacked? Earlier this week, links to huge databases of the site's content appeared across several forums and websites. The caches contained more than 1.6 terabytes worth of videos and images, enough to store roughly 800 Hollywood films in full HD. Right. The databases feature the content of hundreds of creators organized by the screen names and pseudonyms. Yeah, when the news broke, everyone assumed that OnlyFans had been hacked. However, OnlyFans denies any breach of its systems. Of course it does. We have investigated claims of a site-wide hack and found no evidence of any breach of our system. The content contained in the supposed leak seems to be curated from multiple sources, including other social media applications. So who is responsible for this leak? Rather than a hacker, the suggestion among creators and fans is that the leak was put together by an organized group. The leak appears to be a coordinated effort by customers collecting the photos and videos individually, then sharing the pilfered content with one another to form a gigantic free database. It's not clear if this was an illegal act. Creators have complained on social media that screen recording software, which allows you to take videos of whatever you want, can cause it to leak. This is directly a product from screen recording applications. Is it though? I mean, it's not just that. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of software you can plug into your browser to download stuff. Has OnlyFans done anything to combat the issue that many models continuously bring up? What does this mean for the site's performers? Well, do we really care? I don't really care at the moment. Well, younger people may not have access to the easiest traditional employment. Of course, they have to make this about. Of course, they have to. Of course, they have to spin this. Listen, okay, here's a lesson in journalistic spin. Are you ready? For those who have photos and videos that have been leaked, the leak will likely starve them of a source of income. Lots of people who use OnlyFans rely on this as a revenue stream. Well, no shit, it's a revenue stream. Younger people, trans and non-binary disabled people who may not have the easiest access to traditional employment. It gives anyone a means of making paywall protected adult content, but clearly it offers zero protection for creators whose content can be bought and then freely distributed. I highly doubt that these niche content creators, disabled people, trans people, non-binary people, I highly doubt they were the ones that have been hacked. Maybe I'm wrong. Someone tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. I feel like look, if this is a big coordinated effort, it's more likely going to be dudes hacking mainstream porn stars or like big name celebrities, if we're honest. But nice try, son. What else we got? In other news, hackers have invented a new tactic for sextortion. That's the new word. Scams that involve filming victims watching porn before blackmailing them. Wait, what? A new tactic for sextortion involved filming victims watching porn. A virtual reality porn app exposed 20,000 randy viewers' names and download habits in 2018. That's a bit late, isn't it? It's 2 years ago. And fake porn videos on adult sites that hackers scam 110,000 randy users a year, according to cyber experts. Well, that's interesting. There's a couple other. So there's a couple of other articles I found that reveal more detail. So we'll progress along this storyline as details come along. Hang on. Damn, there's a lot of people in the chat tonight. Good to see you all. Nathan, what's up? What's up, dump bin bird loiterers? Welcome to all my glorious bin chickens. It's a very interesting question, and I do. That's got nothing to do with the topic at hand. Hanafi Din, I've explained this in another video. Scroll back through my YouTube channel. I have a video posted called The Psychology of OnlyFans. I've broken it down. And if that doesn't do it for you, also watch my interview with Tristan Tate. Him and I go into detail on exactly why on this topic. So there you go. You the man, kid all, good to see you guys. Sanyo, live by the internet, die by the internet. That's an interesting take on this. There's a point to be made here. I started reading a book recently. No, I finished a book recently, rather. Which one was it? It was John from Modern Life Dating recommended it to me. Now, when I say read, I mean listened to on audiobook. Which one was it? It was Unscripted by MJ DeMarco. Was it unscripted? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was unscripted. But there's a concept in there he talks about, like, if your business is based on is dependent upon somebody else's business, as in, it's like a perfect example would be if your entire income is based around another platform or a service called OnlyFans, then you don't really have a business. You have a ticking time bomb. And, yeah, if you put all your eggs in one basket, eventually the bottom of that basket might fall out. And OnlyFans is a perfect example of this. So is, having a YouTube channel and not having anything else. So is only having an Instagram account and nothing else. If you have a business of any kind, there's a lesson for everybody here. You want multiple traffic sources, multiple audience sources. So if one goes down, you're not reduced to zero immediately, That's why it's good to have email lists too. Oh, speaking of which, I'm going to do a really quick plug here. really quick plug. Did you guys know that I have a free ebook out right now? I released it. I dropped the link to it on Rule Zero on Saturday morning. So if anyone here would like a free ebook from me, let me just give you a quick rundown of that before I dive into the rest of these articles. Where are we at here? Boom. Yeah. All I'm trying to do here is copy paste. Boom. It is in the link is in the description below as well. But this, the 5 subtle mistakes men make in the bedroom and how to fix them. My free ebook, 32 pages of knowledge, laid out, simple, easy to understand, completely free. Click the link below. Click the link in the chat now, and get yourself a copy. Anyway, let's progress through these. Let's catch up with these comments before I move on to the next article. Oops, where'd we get to? They had to know it was going to happen, especially with the ridiculous paywalls some of these girls put up to drain their simp followers. I mean, eventually, yeah. I mean, like, with all, like, everybody who owns a pay site, like a pornographic pay site, a lot of their stuff gets downloaded and put up on Pornhub, for example. There are services out there that can protect that, but it's kind of a similar. This is just the name of the game. This is the sort of industry we're in, right, where a lot of our stuff gets pirated. You put anything online, especially your ass, expect it to be sold or peddled or anywhere. Fair point. Barbara. Regards from Slovenia. Welcome, Barbara. Slap that like button, you savages. Correct. Editor edits. Slap it. Slap it like a red-headed stepchild. Diaxis says the hacking was done by a rogue bin chicken created by Skynet. How do you know, Diaxis? Were you that rogue bin chicken created by Skynet? Interesting. What do you mean you can't sign in? Well, if you can't click the link in the chat right now, then scroll down in the description below. It's in the description. Oh, is it? Or is it? It should be. If it's not in the description right now, it will be when this video is finished. I'm going to make sure of that. Anyway, let's keep cracking along. The next article that we came across was this one. From Pink News. Take a guess how they're going to spin this. I'm not saying that the leak was a good thing, by the way. I just find it funny how you can, like, because there's another article here which basically just lays out all the facts and doesn't seem to spin very much. With these websites, I'm going to call them news, take a very interesting spin on this kind of stuff. Tens of thousands of nudes stolen from women, LGBT plus people, and OnlyFans stars. Now they've been leaked online. You know there are men on OnlyFans too, right? Pink News. You know there are men like me who have OnlyFans accounts, right? Of course not. Of course you wouldn't know that. You're Pink News. Pink fake news. Pink not actually news. But anyway, let's progress, shall we? Oh, and the first picture is of a dude. Like and when I say men, obviously LGBT includes gay and bi. I'm referring to straight men like me who are on there as well. So there you go. A digital protest is being organized in Ireland to demand that image-based sexual abuse be banned after tens of thousands of nudes were stolen from women, LGBT plus people, and the OnlyFans stars, only to then be leaked online. Of course, they were. I'm sure none of them were stolen from straight male accounts at all. I'm sure none of the biggest, because some of the biggest recognizable porn stars on the planet are dudes. Like Johnny Sins, Kieran Lee. I'm sure theirs weren't hacked at all. No need to mention them in your article. Hey. Anyway. Ireland's police force, the Garda. Garda is the name of the Irish cops. has said it's investigating the mass sharing of images. It is understood that the folder, which reportedly includes images of minors. So here's where it gets interesting. They actually leaked some stuff which apparently has underage content in it as well. So this is why the police have started to get involved. Has been shared on social networking sites, including Discord. So apparently all this stuff happened on a Discord server. Where did we get to? Some of the news were taken without knowledge of the victims, while others were stolen from platforms including OnlyFans, Tinder, WhatsApp, and Instagram. According to Journal.ie. Maybe we should actually look at that. Maybe we should actually be looking at that article. Rather than... We'll bring it up and have a look at it a bit later. A digital protest is set to take place on Zoom on the 28th of November. Is it now? And the event will also be live streamed on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Well, that's interesting. We might have to come back to this on the 28th of November. One-person army rallies support for a digital protest after OnlyFans stars, LGBT plus people, and women have nudes leaked. The organisers of the rally have requested that the name and identifying details not be released by media. Cool. The bottom line is the government are, quote, the government are turning a blind eye to the people they are supposed to protect. It is becoming an integrated belief in our society that leaking news is just banter or acceptable behaviour. Did this happen in Ireland? Must have. We should stand for this. It is time to campaign for revenge porn laws to be established, and the time is now. I would also like to add that this movement will campaign for... What's this got to do with revenge porn? It's not exactly revenge porn. It's just stealing people. It's like stealing people's content, but it's not revenge porn, as far as I'm aware. Unless there's details I'm missing, which they conveniently haven't bothered to mention in here. The organizer also said that TERFs, exclusionary radical feminists, and sex worker exclusionary activists would not be welcome at this protest. Thank you very much. Heaven forbid we have a dialogue with somebody who we disagree with, hey? Heaven forbid. We can't have that. We cannot have dissension in the ranks, especially when it comes to people like me who sell their asses for a living. Oh boy. Well, I sell my penis, but you get what I'm saying. Those who are interested in watching the protest live can find more details through the group's Facebook event. Okay, great for them. The Victims Alliance, an advocacy organisation in Ireland, has said it is attempting to identify all the victims of the major leak, and it is making efforts to contact those who've had their images shared without consent. Okay, I'm going to assume with them saying that maybe it's not just an OnlyFans link, maybe it's other. I mean, she did say, they did mention Tinder and stuff earlier. So maybe it isn't just OnlyFans content. Maybe there's more to this than I realize. And I will look at the journal, I'll look at the link that they've conveniently shared in this article. Maybe that links to an actual news website. Who knows? They're making efforts to contact those who had their images shared without consent. I wonder if they're contacting any men who had their images shared. Gee. I wonder. Right. Victims of image abuse are left without protection under Irish law. Image-based sexual abuse, often referred to as revenge porn, is a criminal offence in England, Wales, and Scotland. Image abuse. It's a very interesting phrase, isn't it? Image abuse. Don't just call it like stealing. Why don't we just call it copyright? Just call it copyright. If you're stealing someone's OnlyFans content, it's copyright. Or like DMCA. Like it's just theft. That's all it is. It's not abuse. Like if someone stole my fucking OnlyFans content, I'm not going to say you're abusing me. No, I'm not going to say that. But of course, this is pink news, pink fake news. So obviously that's how they're going to phrase it. Anyway, before I get cancelled, let's keep. Let's move on to let's look at the article that they just referenced. Dissension. Danny, I love you. Dissension in the extremist leftist ranks. Damn right. And like this video before I get cancelled. Thank you, Caesar. Keep reminding people. Oh my God. / slap that like button like it's your irresponsible stepson. Are the actual artists who use OnlyFans affected by the leak? Digital artists, music, film, etc. Are those still confused about using OnlyFans? I don't know. There's not that many people on OnlyFans who share music and stuff. That's a very, very small minority. Polaroid's the only way to go. Nice work. Yeah, headline has women and LGBT in it. The first picture after the headline is a dude. Exactly. Bravo. I'm intrigued. What were they expecting by sharing photos on the web? Sooner or later, they're gonna get shared. Too bad it wasn't early. It's gonna happen. Like, I expect all my shit to get pirated. Like, it's just the name of the game. You just try and get as much money out of it as you can, and then I expect at some point it's gonna get pirated. And if I find out it's been pirated, then I'll send somebody after them to take it down. That's the name of the game, you know. Am I happy that happens? No, but it's like the nature of the beast. This is the field I've chosen to work in. You know, it'd be like me getting pissed off that I had to deal with like vomit and puke if I was like a bathroom attendant at a bar. That's kind of what I've summed up for, right? There's still no blockchain technology to restrict content between devices. It is best not to share anything. Interesting perspective there. Anyway. Cool. Let's look at this actual article that they referenced. Garda looking for. Here it is. Fine, I'll accept cookies, you bastard. All right, the Garda, which is the Irish police, is the Republic of Ireland police, is looking into allegations that large numbers of images of women were shared online without their consent. But it is understood that some of these images and videos are of minors. That's the key. That's the really fucked up part. Garda are investigating the upload of images without consent to a number of online forums. It understood that some of the images are footage of minors. A number of TDs called for action on this issue. The Victims Alliance, we talked about these guys before. The group is working to identify the victims, but many of them are Irish. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe the victims they're talking about are actually the minors, and I hope that is the case. I hope these are the people that are actually trying to reach out and help. So maybe I was a bit too presumptuous, in you know, for lols, I was being too presumptuous. I was correct. Look at this. Linda Hayden, the co-founder of the Victims Alliance, said members of the group forwarded the files or folders marked as minors to a Garda detective. Many of the images have been shared in forums on Discord. Yeah, this is what I was the conclusion I'd heard. At least one forum on the website where users were sharing images has been removed. The forum in question had about 500 users, all of whom were banned from the website. The first server was initially deleted by its owners, along with all the photos on it, once it started attracting attention online. A second server was then set up as a replacement for the original server. They were trying to cover their tracks. A spokesperson for Discord told the Journal that as soon as the website became aware of this server, we permanently deleted it and identified and banned the approximate 500 users involved. We deleted it and banned its users before they could upload pictures again. We continue to monitor proactively for any new attempts to recreate the server. No one's still really explained to me why the Irish police are getting involved with this. I think maybe it's because Ireland is where OnlyFans is legally based, which wouldn't surprise me. That's where like basically every big tech company is incorporated, because the tax laws for corporations are quite generous there. That's why Google's in Ireland. So I think this is why OnlyFans, all the stuff is involving the Irish police. No one should have to endure. This is a very interesting quote here, fellas. Let's zoom in on this one. This one at the top here. Can you see that? No one should have to endure the pain of having private images posted online without their consent. I hope they're referring to the minor part here, because otherwise that'd be very ironic if they're referring to like the porn stars. Discord has a zero tolerance approach to non-consensual pornography and child sexual abuse, as it should, and we work aggressively, proactively. Conversations between Discord or private. So okay, but not end-to-end encrypted on Discord. Interesting. So administrators can view the content if inappropriate behavior is reported. Images of females have also been uploaded to pornography sites without the consent. Hayden spoke to the guard about this issue. Hayden said some of the images and videos in question were taken by the victims and privately shared, but were later publicly shared without their consent or knowledge. So this is like the... so this is probably more of the... less about the OnlyFans stuff and more about the stuff they got from Tinder and WhatsApp and Instagram. Some images of footage were taken of people surreptitiously and without the knowledge, and others were taken from online platforms such as OnlyFans, Tinder, WhatsApp, and Instagram. There we go. Hayden said she's very worried about the mental health impact of the situation of the victims, and the group is providing support to those who need it. Oh, Jesus. This is a screenshot from some of it. That's pretty fucked up. Yeah, the sharing of intimate or explicit images of a person without the consent is typically referred to as revenge porn or image-based sexual abuse, and is usually done by an ex-partner. It is not currently an offence in Ireland. Well, not if they're fucking porn stars. Then it's just stealing. That's not. If you take like one of my scenes and put it on the internet, it's stealing. That's not revenge porn, and that's not image-based sexual abuse. Like in the cases of if it's someone's girlfriend, then yeah, that's revenge porn, or whatever you want to call it. But if it's like, I find it hard to believe that this 1.6 terabytes was all stuff from like Tinder and whatnot. I feel like the majority of it is probably stuff from OnlyFans, which is just stealing. Just call it stealing, okay? If you're going to bring up the OnlyFans stuff. Any images of or depicting a person under the age of 18 engaging in sexual activity is considered child sexual abuse. In Ireland, cool. Picks up in culture. Kieran O'Connor, a researcher investigator, said there's a pretty active pic swapping culture in some online groups. You mean dick pics? Is that what you're referring to? Oh no, he's referring to like this kind of stuff. I was thinking, wait a minute, is he talking about dick pics? Is he trying to talk about dick pics without saying the phrase dick pics? Oh boy. O'Connor explained that while the photos or videos are often of women or girls, the posters know. Sometimes they share images of celebrities or people who have a high profile online, aka porn stars. Rape Crisis New York Rape Crisis Network Ireland has condemned in the strongest possible way people who have shared or downloaded images of this nature without consent. If you have access to someone else's images that have been shared online and you are concerned it has been shared without the consent, it is vital that you refer the matter to the Garda and refrain from any further sharing or action around the image. Okay, you naughty boys, stop that. Victim blaming. Holly Cairn said Justice Minister Helen McEntee needs to bring forward legislation as a matter of urgency. The Social Democrat is calling to move immediately to protect victims of what we know is a crime, but today is still not considered one. Cairns told the Journal any victim blaming in relation to the issue should not be tolerated. I want to send a clear message to anyone whose images have been shared without their consent. It is not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not to blame. Unfortunately, the law isn't protecting you, and it's not your fault, and that has to change. Cairns said people in Ireland need to have an incredibly serious and difficult national conversation on this. Or we could just not send dick pics to each other. That could be a thing. But I don't know. No. Thousands of Irish men are sharing images of women and girls without the consent. They're also sharing their dick pics. I guarantee you these same Irish men are also sharing their dick pics. There are horrific levels of sexual violence in our colleges. Wait a minute. There are horrific levels of sexual violence in your colleges. Really? Horrific levels? Like the Congo? Like in war zones? Really? Look, I'm not saying women don't get like sexual assault doesn't happen. But on college campuses, if there were horrific levels, surely we would know about. There'd be like, if there was an actual rape epidemic going on college campuses, I think we would know about it. This sounds like hyperbole. Anyway, Cairns added that any men who see or receive an image being circulated without consent to call it out. Call it out, guys. You should speak up in WhatsApp groups. in conversation, in any given situation, you'd call it out. If you don't, you are complicit. You are guilty by association. The action of degenerates. Yeah, here it is. The creation and or distribution of private sexual images without consent is not revenge porn. It's image-based sexual abuse, a spokesperson said. Abuse. Sexual abuse. Like, they want to, like, listen to this language. They're trying to conflate, like, sharing someone's nude with rape. Like, that's what sexual abuse, sexual assault. Like, they're trying to conflate these things together. No, I'm not saying this is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying... Look, I'm not saying you should... If a girl sends you nudes, I'm saying you should not be sharing a girl's nudes everywhere on the internet. If a girl sends you nudes, enjoy them in private for yourself. Okay? She was nice enough to send you a nude. Enjoy it in your privacy. However, that does not mean that it's the same. If you do, it does not mean that it's the same as like rape. That is absolutely ridiculous. New legislation should ensure that the victim's experiences are taken into account and must encompass definitions of consent and intent that reflect the sexual nature of this crime. This is treading on some thin ice. The standards of what is unacceptable in an online setting must be consistent with those in traditional settings and cross-government initiatives underway to the correctly. Let's read that sentence again. The standards of what is unacceptable in an online setting must be consistent with those in traditional settings. Have you ever been on the internet? Take a scroll through some YouTube comments. Have you seen Twitter? Half the shit that gets said on Twitter, if you said it to someone's face in real life, they would punch you in the teeth. The internet is not real life. You know why? Because here's something you can do on the internet. You can just go click and you're not on the internet anymore and you don't have to see all these nasty words. The internet is nothing like the real world. So it doesn't have to be, the rules don't have to actually be consistent with real life. Anyway. Okay, so that's that one. I wonder if there's I'm pretty sure we have gotten to the crux of this, basically. I think there's one more article. I'm just seeing if it was. Let's share this one more article because. Yeah, exactly. People are brave behind a keyboard. Exactly. Thank you, Danny. I'm glad you noticed that. Oh God. As a social media pirate, I'm asking the talent, how do I share you, your scenes, your professional friends, scenes, etc., and still help you and me make dollars? Funny you asked this, actually. Like, who was saying it? When I was, me and Sarah J were on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and she mentioned that in the early days, back like early 2000s, when you had LimeWire and like these sort of file sharing websites, porn companies would deliberately leak scenes onto these websites so they would get shared all around the internet with their big fat watermark sitting there to drive traffic to their websites. And that practice still exists today on a little place called Reddit and other places called Pornhub and Xvideos and all these other tube sites. This is the practice is still exactly the same. So the main thing here is that, like, the thing that really, you'll see this on Twitter a lot, when fan accounts like retweet girls' scenes and their sort of promo clips and stuff, the girls get really pissed if the guys don't tag them in it. So that's kind of like, to answer your question, that's the main thing there, is like tag them. Like tag the performer or their like website or their Pornhub account or their profile or whatever, or their OnlyFans account, whatever it is. Like, tell people where they can find more is basically what most girls want. Because if you're going to drive traffic, they would like a piece of that traffic, basically. Interesting. I never understood the need for people to share their nudes with each other. Thank God that's not my kink. Yeah, I mean, look, I get plenty of girls sending me nudes over the internet. Do I share them with you guys, with anybody else? No, that shit's for me. I earned that, so I'm not gonna fucking give it away. Give someone else's stuff away. There's one more article here. I will, I'll have a quick look at, and it's from the Irish Times. This one from the Irish Times. The Garda are pessimistic about bringing charges. This was updated about 18 hours ago. So, I don't know what this. The Garda investigates the online sharing of so-called revenge porn of hundreds of Irish women. I believe criminal charges are highly unlikely. They weren't all Irish women. They didn't. If this is a leak, if this is a Discord leak, this is like international. And if it's an OnlyFans link, the girls aren't all Irish. What the hell is this shitty journalism? They're from all around the world. If it's an OnlyFans leak, anyway. Some images appear to have been taken without the women's knowledge, such as photos from changing rooms. Okay, now this is getting in the realms of like fucking illegal, like super fucking illegal. While others may be of underage girls, like we said, super fucking illegal and goddamn evil. A large number of the images were initially shared consensually by women on subscription services such as OnlyFans. Yeah, so a large number. So the vast majority of this stuff is OnlyFans leaks rather. Others were images women shared with their partners, which were later uploaded online without their permission. That's probably a typo right there. So, As of Friday afternoon, Garda had yet to receive an official complaint from a person who had their image uploaded. Probably because they don't know that their image had been uploaded, to be perfectly honest. Unless they're actively going out there and unless this Victims Alliance people are going and contacting the underage people. Yeah, they said Linda Hayden of Victims Alliance said it hopes that the uploaders of the images may be prosecuted for harassment or child abuse imagery offences. Well, if they're sharing child abuse shit, underage shit, they should be prosecuted for child pornography offences. If these girls are if some of these girls are fucking underage, that's disgusting. Talking about the Discord server. Ooh. Ms. Hayden said Discord, an online messaging platform, is handing over the IP addresses of the 500 forum members to the Irish police. Ooh. The company did not respond to queries on this matter on Friday, but said in a separate statement it will cooperate on this matter with Irish authorities subject to applicable law. The first task will be filtering the images to determine if any of them constitute child abuse imagery. That's a good start. That's where you should start. However, if images are found to be illegal, it will remain very difficult to determine who uploaded them. Unfortunately, that is the case. Yeah. It sounds like again, playing devil's advocate here or whatever. This doesn't sound like it was a child pornography ring situation. Like, those do exist. Those 100% exist. And when they're busted, thank fucking Christ, they're busted by the cops all the time. There was a big one that was found in Australia recently, apparently. But this doesn't sound like that situation. What this sounds like is dudes uploading nudes of their exes who happened to be underage at the time. Like 16 or whatever. Like under 18, so like 16, 17-year-olds. This is what this kind of sound. I feel like this is the vibe I'm getting from as I'm reading through this stuff. I think that's what's happened here. And so, like, look, let this be a lesson. Here's a really important point I'll make right here. Let's just stop this. Let's just take this away for 1 second. Here's a really important point here, guys. for any younger men listening to this, if you're under the age of 18, or even depending upon where you live, under the age of 21, and more importantly, if your girlfriend or the girl you're hooking up with is underage, dear Lord, never, ever, ever accept a nude from her. Ever. Do not do it. This is a legal fucking bear trap. Like, there are instances, and not recent ones, like these go back like 10 years ago, of, you know, a 16-year-old kid, a 16-year-old boy receiving a nude from his 16-year-old girlfriend, and that 16-year-old boy is then put on a sex offenders register. That has happened in the US 10 years ago, like, not recently. That shit happened. Now it's even more easy for that. That was back in the days of like Nokias and shit. Now it's even more prevalent. So, dear Lord, if any of you are listening, I've got any young men listening to this, do not accept nudes from your girlfriends if you're like in high school and shit. That is a fucking terrible idea, and that will like tell her not to send. Even if she's like a kinky girl and she's like, you know, she's the one like proactively doing it, tell her actively, do not send me this shit, because I could go to fucking jail or I could end up on a sex offenders register. So pay fucking attention. God. Let's go back. Let's resume. What did we get to? Anything else here? In a handful of past cases, the Garda have prosecuted image-based abuse on harassment, but sources want it to be very hard to put it on a harassment case together, as the law is meant to deal with persistent activity rather than one-off uploading of material. Interesting. In previous successful prosecutions, the uploading of material was part of a wider pattern of harassing behavior, such as repeated phone calls. The Garda also said the uploading of material from OnlyFans is also unlikely to be prosecuted. At most, it's a civil matter under copyright law. Bang! Thank you. Sterling is right, as always. It's a copyright issue. If it's leaked OnlyFans content, it's not image-based sexual abuse. If it's OnlyFans content, it's not revenge porn. It's copyright. It's a copyright issue. God, I'm a fucking genius. The Garda stressed they take a victim-centric approach to complaints of this nature, despite a lack of clear legislation in the area, and will ask pornography companies to remove the material. Wait, what pornography companies? Interesting. Invariably, the company agrees because they have a business to run and don't really care about on-true images. The Minister for Justice said she will be bringing proposals before Cabinet to make it illegal to share intimate images without consent, regardless of the motivation of the person who passes them on. Okay, here's an interesting thing. Okay, here we go. Let's read this paragraph. This is important. This week's reports of mass leaking of Irish women's image. They weren't Irish women. They were like, this is an international thing. They weren't just. How you tell me? How the hell does anyone know if a woman is Irish or not based purely upon a photo? Unless she's holding her passport up, how the hell do you know it's an Irish chick? Like, especially if it's all this OnlyFans content, they're from everywhere. Stop saying they're Irish women. Anyway, this week's reports on mass leaking of Irish women's images appear to have given the bill a boost. On Friday, Minister for Justice Helen McEntee said she will bring proposals before Cabinet next week to make it illegal to share intimate images without consent, regardless of the motivation of the person who passes them on. Now, here's an interesting point I want to make. Whose consent? What if I don't consent for you to send me a nude? Because I know that every woman out there would love for that to be illegal, for a dude to send an unsolicited dick pic. However, if a girl sends me a nude, is that the same deal? Is the law gonna see this the same way? Because it fucking should. Because if a girl sends me a nude without my consent, regardless of her motivations, that's the same shit. That's the same scenario as a dude downloading a chick's image and sending it to like a forum, a Discord forum or whatever. It's this, under the law, that should be treated exactly the same. I don't care if it's her image. If she's sending it to me without my consent, I could get in fucking trouble. Especially if, you know, the scenario I described before. Civil case, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's the end of the article there. So there you have it. Interesting situation. Where do we get to? In the chat here. Udaman, I was wondering if they would track them down through their IP address. Guess they didn't use VPN. Time for a VPN paid ag plug grind. I use ExpressVPN, as a matter of fact, if I need to, for various things. So there you go. ExpressVPN's quick. And that was not a paid ad. That was not sponsored. Hey, Sterling, not to digress, but did you remember the whole Prenda law firm rubbish? I don't know what you're talking about. Prenda law firm. A Chicago-based law firm that ostensibly operated by undertaking litigation against copyright infringement. Prenda law porn troll saga ends with prison for founders. I do not know what this is. Never heard of this. No. Never heard of it, Dax. So. Where we get to? Yeah, exactly. God forbid an underage girl ever sends you an unsolicited nude. You will be fucked, sir. Yeah, make sure you fucking get rid of that immediately if a girl does that to you. Yeah. Bingo. So that's the breakdown for today on social media cringe. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Don't forget, like the video, share the video if you found this insightful, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We're growing every day, and it's really nice to see so many people coming on board and enjoying the content we're putting out. Like I said, in the description below, if it's not there yet, I'll make sure it is once I finish this broadcast. There is a link to my brand new ebook. It is a free, completely free ebook, The 5 Subtle Mistakes Men Make in the Bedroom and How to Fix Them. Download it for free at the link below in the description. Okay? On YouTube, obviously, if you're watching this somewhere else. Find the YouTube channel and subscribe, and then find that ebook download link. Okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow.